We're going to get started now. Everybody, please go to page 1 in their packet. And on page 1, I drew how many pictures? Can anybody look at the pictures that I drew and without actually counting them, can anybody tell me how many I have? And I'm going to start with Tess, who raised her hand, and then Bayram. So Tess, what do you think?
20.
You think 20. Bayram, what do you think?
Yeah, 20.
Okay. And what do you think, Caroline?
I think 20 also.
And Mark?
I think 18.
Interesting. And what about you, Asher? Asher,
I thought 20.
you got 20. And Gabby? Don't raise your hand electronically.
20.
20. And Jonah?
18.
18. Now, can I, and Susan, what about you?
20.
20. Now, I want Mark to please explain to the group why Jonah and he came up with 18 and how you did it. Go ahead, buddy.
I came up with 18 because it starts at 3 and it ends at 20. And 20 minus 2 is 18.
Guys, do you see that the triangle is actually the smallest polygon that there is? You cannot have a polygon with 2 sides. A polygon has to have 3 or more sides. So notice what Mark did and Jonah did is they took 20 and they subtracted 2 and they got 18. And everybody, if you understand, give me a raised hand so I know that you understand that there are 18 figures. Very good. And just a raised hand like this. Now, lower your hand unless you still have a question. If you still have a question, I should see your hand raised. Okay, great. Now, can anybody please name the red dot on my, it's called an icosahedron. Everybody say that out loud.
Icosahedron.
Oh, no. Sorry, I gave you the wrong name. Icosagon. So it's called an icosagon, which means 20. Now, the point that I've named here, you always have to first go along the horizontal axis and find where that point is pointing to. Then you have to go to the vertical axis and find out how high you have to go. So I want everybody right now to be thinking about that point. And why don't you send me a chat? So if you know what point that is, so for instance, I already know that Jonah sent me a chat without me even asking. So Jonah, that was totally boss. Now, and Bayram, you have got the right numbers, but you've got them switched. You did the vertical axis first and then the horizontal axis. David O, you did the same thing and you don't have parentheses around them. So send me a chat. Yes, totally nailed it. Bayram nailed it. Tegan, you got them crossed. Tegan, you have vertical followed by horizontal. You need horizontal followed by vertical. And Mark, did you send me a text yet? Because I don't see your chat. No, Mark, you got it switched around as well. David, oh, nailed it. But David, put the numbers, parentheses around the numbers. Put parentheses around the numbers. Claire totally nailed it. but Claire, please put parentheses around your numbers. Now, I have a little way to show you and help you. Is everybody ready to watch why I got 920? What Mr. Kramer does is I take my little eye and I go down from the point. Do you guys see what that's pointing to? Everybody say what?
9.
Everybody say 9. Penny, do you see that? It's pointing to 9. And then if you go to the vertical axis, it's pointing to what?
20.
Right. Now, everybody did a great job. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you another point, and I want everybody to do the same thing, but please send me a chat. It's the green point right there. So everybody send me a chat about the location of the green point.
He wants you to figure out the location of that and then send him a
And
chat.
remember, my best practice is to go down and across to see what it's pointing to. Go down and across to see what it points to. And if you have a question, please raise your hand electronically so we can get it answered. Oh boy, guess what? I have so far,
16.
everybody got it right. Baylor, Tess, Tegan, Olivia, Jack, Caroline, David O, Luna,
And what's
Camilla, Asher, Mark, Gabby,
Wait, why
guys, everybody got it. Now, I want to ask a favor. Penny, can you tell me what it's pointing down to?
Is it 16?
Can you say that out loud? Penny, quiet, please.
I think it's 16.
Penny, what's that pointing to?
2.
Good. And Penny, what's it pointing to
Wait.
on the vertical axis?
16.
So we write 216. That is how we name that point. That is how we name that point. If anybody has a question, please ask it right now. Okay. Are you ready to go on a journey with me? Do you know that the real world is not always positive numbers? The real world looks like this. So in the real world, we have positive numbers and negative numbers. Now I'm going to go a little bit closer, and I want you to look at this axis. In the very center, we have a point that is called, does anybody know what that point is called in the very center? It has two names. Farum, I want you to learn how to raise your hand electronically. I'm going to call on you, but you've got to raise your hand electronically. Now I'm going to call on you. Farum, what is that point called?
0, 0.
All you have to do with your answer is take the question mark out of your voice, because you are 100% correct. Now, guess what? It has another name.
Origin?
Point. Wait, who said that?
Me, Pharaoh.
Whoa. Everybody write that down. It's called the origin.
I learned that from a show.
What show was that, Baron?
I'm just doing this thing where I'm rewatching shows that I used to watch when I was a bit younger, and one of them is called Milo Murphy's Law. And this robot was looking for his origin, and he kept on saying, "I want 0, 0." And they were like, "What does 0, 0 mean?" And then they remembered that in science class they taught them that 0, 0 means the origin. So the robot is looking for where he came from.
That's pretty cool. Now, any of you who were with me last year in Mathletes knows that the origin on the world, on the planet, which is at the equator and the prime meridian, that the origin is right south of Western Africa. It's in the ocean, but it's right south of Western Africa, and it's actually the origin of the planet Earth. So the way the Earth is split up, it's pretty cool that that's 0.00. Now, Mark has his thumb up because he's liking that. Now,
Which one is this?
I want everyone to point to one of their favorite figures. I drew a triangle, a quadrilateral. Everybody look at that. That's 4. Everybody go like this. That's 4. A pentagon. That's 5. Help me out with 6.
A hexagon.
Good. Now, help me out with 7.
A pentagon.
It has 2 names. It has 2 names. Hold on a second. So for 7-sided polygon, it has 2 names. And it is called the heptagon
And septagon.
and septagon.
Septagon.
And I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, I'm pretty sure that hepta is Greek and septa is Latin for the number 7. However, we have a problem. Does anybody know what word is similar to septa? What word do we use? And in fact, I was thinking about that word just last month. And who thinks they can raise their hand? Caroline?
September.
Everybody please look at the word September. Now, I totally agree with you, Caroline. Why in the world would they use the number 7 for the 9th month?
That's what
Hold on. I've got, by the way, somebody yelling in the background. There's a sibling who is yelling in the background. And if that person could mute themselves, that would be awesome. Claire, can you tell us what you know?
I'm so sorry.
I think it's 7.
Yeah, Claire, I can't hear you, honey. Claire, Claire, do not mute yourself. Don't push the button. Just leave yourself unmuted. No, don't push the button. Don't push the button. Okay, Claire, you can speak now.
I think it's 7.
Well, is September, are we not in October right now? And isn't that the 10th month? So September was the 9th month. Mark, do you know why September is the 9th month, even though septa means 7?
No.
Okay, now,
Septum.
what do you think it would be like if you lived in a society where the king or the president or the ruler decided to name a month after himself or herself? So imagine that Mr. Kramer was the president of the United States. And I said, okay, I hereby decree that the first month of the year is called Mathlete month. Now there are 13 months. Would that be a little weird?
Yes.
Yeah.
Would that be a nice thing for me to do for the
No.
entire world?
No.
I don't think that would be a nice thing. So first of all, I would never become president because I would never run for president. But if I did, I wouldn't name a month after myself. I do know a president who probably would. But let me tell you a story. September used to be the 7th month, September. Guess what happened? 2 things happened before September. Bayram, do you know?
I was about to guess that, but then you said name a thing name a month after your name, so I kind of gave up on the idea. But before that, my idea was that in ancient Rome, where the word septa came from, or any ancient time, that there were less months. They discovered that there were less months than now.
Well, I think that your conjecture, everyone, is an educated guess. Now, Sabrina and James, I want you to listen to this. Camilla, I'm only calling you out because you're all muted, and I'd love for you to be unmuted. But what month comes right before September? Go.
October.
August.
August.
Oh,
And
geez.
quiet, please. Quiet, please. Quiet, please. Quiet, please. Now, I got some feedback on the line. Somebody is like moving something around, like a lawnmower in there. Does anybody hear that? Okay, I'm gonna mute everybody and let's see if we can figure it out.
No, it stopped.
Yeah, so it stopped right now. Whoever figured it out, I really appreciate it. Maybe it was Jack or James or Tess.
I know. I think I know who it was.
And why do you think that? Maybe you could teach me.
I saw whoever's green is talking right now, and the sound was coming from. Wait, let me just see.
And okay, so
It's coming from James.
James. Okay, great. Well, that's why he was smart enough to mute himself, and we really appreciate that. Now, what month comes before August, everybody?
July.
July.
Now, remember, you guys promised not to call out, so please next time raise your hand. Now, there was an ancient emperor, and the emperor was called Julius Caesar,
And then Augustus.
Yeah, he loved.
and then Augustus, Aurelius, and I'm sure I spelled them wrong, but as you can see, they wanted months named after them. And because of that, it moved September from the 7th month to the 9th month. It moved October. Octa, isn't Octa 8, guys?
Yeah.
Well, let's check it out. Octa is 8. It moved October from the 8th month to the 10th month. Now, actually, in Latin, Nova is 9. So November moved from the 9th month to the 11th. And who knows what 10 is? Raise your hand, please, if you know what 10 is. I'm going to call on anyone who raises their hand electronically. Tegan?
Deca. I know that because my birthday's in December.
Oh my gosh. So decagon. Deca means 10, but of course, December is the 12th month. What else can prove that deca means 10? Does anybody know another word? Mark? Does anybody know another word? And why deca? Go ahead, Tess P.
Because a decade is 10 years.
That's exactly right. And guess what? There's a decimeter. There are 10 decimeters in a meter. So deca is really, really cool.
I have another one.
What's that?
Well, not really, but decimals. There's 10 points to a whole.
Wait a minute. Jonah, that's the best answer I have heard in a long time. Decimal is the
That was me.
It's the base, or whoever me is, it's the base 10 number system, which is awesome. Now, the only other word that I'm thinking about is a word like I'm thinking of a dime. Why do you think a dime 10 cents? Go ahead, David.
I think a dime because it's 10 cents and decagon is 10.
Yeah, very good. Gabby, what do you think? Gabby, you raised your hand, honey. What do you think?
But I was thinking the same thing. It sort of sounds like dime, deca. And a dime is 10 cents, so deca would be 10.
Yeah, and guys, what is 100? What number stands for 100? Go ahead, Jonah.
Oh, wait, oh,
Guys, what word stands for 100? You guys know this. Go ahead. Who's got it? Claire? Go ahead, Claire.
It's Santa.
Yes, 100-sided polygon is called a centagon.
wait.
And you know what I'm thinking, guys? Can everybody please do me a favor right now and
That
go,
was
everybody go all the way to page 10 in their packet. I'm sorry, page 11. Everybody go to page 11 in their packet. And Mark and Bayram, you had your hands up?
Yeah.
Dime is named after it's 10 cents because it takes 10 times to get 100.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, everyone, take your pencil and can you create a centagon? So I'm wondering what it would look like to create a centagon. And I'm thinking we'd have to do something crazy like this. And you're not going to get to finish it today, but I want you to start thinking of how you could create a 100-sided polygon. Gabby, ideas?
No, I was just wondering what you were talking about. I forgot if it was 100-sided.
Yes, it is. So centagon is 100-sided. Now, everyone, I want you to just start your picture. Go ahead, Bayram.
So every mini square inside of this, every mini square is well, every full square, sorry, every big square is contained with a 5 by 5 of mini squares. So 4 of them is already equal to 100. So you could use, like, I don't know, 6 of them or 8 of them, and that'll be good, and it'll be good. You don't need to use the whole page.
Now, Bayram, I agree that that gives you 100 square units, but does that create a centagon?
No, I
Because
said
we know it's a 10 by 10 square. So Bayram, I like your thinking, but you need 100 sides. Jonah?
I want to say something. I think the reason a centimeter is called a centimeter is because there's 100 centimeters in a meter.
That is true.
That's it.
And by the way, does anybody know how many legs a centipede has?
100. Well, I mean, not exactly 100. But
Wait. Who said that?
Jonah.
Jonah.
Yeah, guys, I want you to know this. Centipedes cannot have 100 legs.
And
They're usually born with more.
So let me explain why. If you divide 100 into half, who can divide 100 into 2 pieces? If you can,
50 and 50.
well, I want you not to call out loud. Whoever called out, remember the rule at the beginning. Now you guys can say it. Half of 100 is,
50.
and since 50 is an even number, centipedes never have a number of legs that when you divide it by 2, they get an even number. So for instance, you could have a centipede with 98 legs, because when you divide 98 in half, you get what? Raise your hand. And I'm going to lower everybody's first. When you divide 98 in half, you get what number? And I want you guys to raise your hand electronically if you know what half of 98 is. but a centipede can. James?
That's 49.
It's close to, it's not quite 39, but that was a really good guess.
I said 49.
Oh, 49. That's right. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Now, everybody go back right now to page 2. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to challenge you guys to name the following point. Are you ready? This one's going to be relatively easy. I made that point in red, and I want you to name that point. Everybody send me a chat with the value of the red dot. I'll even make a little arrow so everybody can see it. You should be sending me a chat with that point. And that point is relatively simple. Because yes, it points to the 8th. I like to think of it as the 8th elevator, and it's across from the 1st floor. So we say that it is point, and I haven't gotten a chat from anyone, but it is 0.81. If anybody cannot see why that point is 81, could you please raise your hand right now to ask me that question? So if you do not agree that that point is 81, then this will be a perfect time to raise your hand. Okay? So the fact that nobody's raising their hand, I believe I can move on. The next point I want you to name is this one. I'm going to do the next point in black. That point right there in black points down to a number and then across to a number. And I want everybody to send me a chat right now. I agree with Tess M. I don't agree with Tegan. I agree with Gabby. David O, you need parentheses around yours. Bayram, I do not agree with yours. Sabrina, I totally agree. Caroline, I think you meant to do a parenthesis instead of a 0, and then you'd be right. Bayram, I totally agree. So Bayram, do you understand it's got to be the horizontal first, then the vertical? Penny, do you have a question, honey?
No.
Okay, so Penny, can you tell me what that point is?
Come
on, Penny, it's pointing down to something and then across to something.
2 and
you could do it.
5.
There you go. It is 0.25. Now for the big challenge. Are you guys ready? The first big challenge is in red. And you guys need to be thinking out of the box. So you need to be thinking about positive and negative numbers. And please send me a chat with the coordinates of that point. By the way, raise your hand if you got the dog in the background squeaking. Who is that? Who's got the dog? I just need to know so I can do if I need to. Can somebody raise their hand so I know who has the dog? Okay, Jack, great, thank you. And yes, mute yourself and try to get the dog to be in a different room. Okay, Camilla, go for it.
What point are you talking about?
The red point, right there. And Camilla asked a great question, and I love it. And I'm gonna go with Bayram, please.
Oh, did you receive my chat or did I?
Oh, nice. Nice. Very, very nice. Now, James, 01. James, I'm going to show you 01 right now. You ready for this? James, I'm going to go into the 0 elevator and I'm going to go up 1. So 01, James, is right there. Do you see it? That's 01. And Jack, what did you come up with for this point?
I know how to get it.
Jack, what did you come up with for this point? What is it pointing down to, everybody? Come on, everybody say it out loud. Negative 4. And we go up how far?
1.
Exactly. So Isabella, do you see that? Do you see that? Good. Sabrina, you see that? Excellent, excellent, excellent. Tegan, do you see that too?
Yeah, Mr. Kramer, I have to go.
Okay, you go ahead and this is, you can watch the video later if you need to, okay?
Bye.
Bye. And guys, Olivia, you have a question, honey? Olivia, do you have a question? Jonas,
Mommy,
do you
should
have a
I
question?
leave?
Oh, no, I was just going to answer the.
How many more minutes?
2.
Okay.
Yeah, Tess, do you have a question? So I want you guys now to find the point that I'm going to circle. And I'm going to circle this next point in purple. Everybody look at the purple point. This is the hardest one you've done so far. It is not an easy point to find. It is not an easy point to find. And I want you guys to name that point, but really fast. Go to the horizontal axis, then the vertical.
I know.
Make sure you send me the chat. I do not agree, James. You have done the vertical axis followed by the horizontal. It's the horizontal axis followed by the vertical. James, and let's see, Olivia did the same thing. Tess M got it right. Camilla got it right. Bayram got it right. Caroline and Olivia, and maybe you and James could change it. Claire got it. And Sabrina, remember Sabrina, we went from -5 and then we went down 2 to -2. Does everybody see -5, -2?
Yes.
Now, what I want everybody to do now is I want everybody to go to page 3, please. Everybody go to page 3. And on page 3, there is an instruction. The first instruction says to create a rectangle with dimensions of 14 by 8. But there's a little bit of a problem, guys. And the problem is that if you look at 0, is this going up by 1s? Or are each of them going up by something else? What are they going up by? Go ahead and go ahead. Let's see. I'm going to choose Gabby.
They're going up by 2.
Yeah. And Caroline, do you see the same thing?
Yes.
So it might be helpful for you guys just to fill in a few of those numbers. You don't have to fill in them all, just to be thinking about this. So your job is to create a rectangle with dimensions of 14 by 8. Dimensions of 14 by 8. And I want to see what you come up with.
What page is this on?
Page 3.
Okay.
Rectangle with dimensions of 14 by 8. that means that one side will be 14 and the vertical will be 8, or the vertical will be 14 and the horizontal will be 8. Now, Mark, do you have a question?
No, my hand's not raised.
It was. I just lowered it. So in any event, I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. I'm gonna make my own. And by the way, after you draw it, you have to name the points. So for instance, I'm gonna create a 14 by 8 right there. And I'm gonna make 4 points, and we call these vertices. And then I'm gonna name mine. You do not have to draw yours the way Mr. Kramer drew his. I want you to draw yours independently. So my points are -16, -2, -16, -10, -30, -2, and -30, -10.
Mr. Kramer,
Yes.
I don't understand I don't know how to name one of my points.
Oh, can you tell me where it is? Like, is it near mine?
It's where you wrote the 8.
Yes, right here or
Yeah, I
right
don't know
here?
what to call that. The first one you circled, I don't know what to call it.
Well, that point right there, what would be the first coordinate of that point?
0, 8 maybe?
Well, 0, 8, sweetheart, is right there.
Oh, that would be 8, 0.
Yes, Gabby, you are beautiful and brilliant. That is exactly right. This point is 8, 0 because we always start with the horizontal. Baron, do you have a question? You have your hand up.
Yeah.
Buddy.
So wait, did I just forget my question? I forgot my question, but just to point out, I finished earlier. I finished my 100 my centagon row.
Oh, can you show it please to the class?
Okay, here's what it looks like.
Hold it up nicely to the screen. Wow. That, wait a minute. Do you know that that actually looks like a moose? Doesn't that look like a moose? Everybody,
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah.
wait, that Bayram, did you intend that to look like a moose?
Nope, but it kind of looks like a tap or a faucet.
Wow. Who
Kinda
wants
looks
to
like-
show me their 14 by 8 rectangle? If you do, just hold it up to the screen. And make sure you hold it nice and steady. Oh, Sabrina, where's yours? Oh, Sabrina, I love yours. Yours is awesome. Who else is going to show me? I only have one person. Oh, wait, Gabby, yours is perfect. I love it. And who's going to show me theirs? Ashley, you going to show me yours? Can you try to draw it first so then you can show it? How about you, Camilla? Camilla, the only way to do this is to pick up your pencil and draw it, and then you can show it. How about you, Mark? Oh, wow. Perfection. And how about you, Olivia and Penny and Caroline and Tess and Jonah and James and Jack? Show yours. Come on. Oh, Claire. Now, Claire, yours looks a little big to me.
But
And Claire, I'm guessing, can you hold yours up again, Claire? Hold yours up again. I want to take a look at it. Oh, yes, Claire, I agree. I agree 100%. Fantastic work. Okay, guys, now, everybody do me a favor and go to page 4. And I want you to tell me which one of these is your favorite shape. So I'm going to first name the shapes and explain. The shape that we started with just now was, of course, a rectangle. And a rectangle, by the way, somebody, Jack, that would be you, is making a noise that everyone can hear. So just remember that when you do that, and Jack, take that away from your mouth because that is why you're making that noise. Okay, so the rectangle has 4 equal angles. And those angles are always right angles. Everybody show me a right angle, please. Go like this with your hand so you know, I know what angle it is. Can you show me with your elbow? Everybody show me with your elbow. And what else could you show me with? What about your knee? Can't you make a right angle with your leg? Fine, you can do this. Nice job. And oh, Camilla, yours is like a perfect right angle. So is yours, Jonas. So is yours, Olivia. Gabby, Gabby, what are you doing? That's perfect. And Claire, wait, Claire, that's a little obtuse. That's a little obtuse. You need to make it a right angle. Now, pick up something in your house right now that has a right angle. Anything. So for instance, I'm gonna pick up my dry suit catalog. Do you guys see how this has a right angle? Oh, wow. Penny picked up her computer. That's perfect. And Asher has an actual right angle triangle. So cool. Now, explain to me, Gabby, about your right angle.
I don't exactly get what a right angle is.
Ah, that's why I asked. So Gabby, watch this. Take your hand like this. And do you see how your forefinger and your thumb create a right angle? Another way to think about it, guys, is go like this and make a T. Doesn't a T make a right angle? Or maybe an X? Oh, wow. You guys have found so many beautiful right angles. And Jonah, oh, Jonah is picking up his lamp, which has a right angle. That's maybe the coolest one. Wait, now Camilla, everybody look at Camilla's. That's like the coolest. Her soap dispenser is literally creating a right angle. And Claire has this huge letter E, which is also creating right angles. I mean, Penny has like 5 items in her hands that are all making right angles. That's crazy. Now,
Of course, I have.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. And guys, look at this. This is a computer hard drive with a right angle. So guys, we have right angles everywhere. Now, everybody go back to the page. Everybody go back to the page. The square, what is different about the square and the rectangle? Jack, can you describe it, please?
Yes. So a square, it's it isn't it's about pretty much 3/4. So the lines are all equal for a square.
Oh, wait. So hold on a
rectangle-
second. Hold on a second, Jack. So Jack said that the sides of a square are all equal. And we can put these little tick marks on each side as long as they have the same number. Jack, what else do you know about a square?
A square also is.
Doesn't it? Claire, what else does a square have?
Well, a square is a special kind of rectangle.
Right, because all squares are rectangles But a square is a rectangle that has what Jack said, 4 equal sides. Now, guys, I want to tell you a little story about the rhombus. Everybody thinks that the rhombus is the shape of a diamond. And unfortunately, it is not a diamond. Now, not everybody has a diamond, but if you ask your mother if she has a diamond ring, I will bet you good money that it does not look like a rhombus.
Yes.
So it will be a multifaceted, it almost looks like a circle, but it maybe will have 16 sides to it if you look at it from the top. And from the side, it almost looks like a kite. It's really cool. But please do not call a rhombus a diamond. Now, who can define a rhombus for me? Who can explain? And I want you to raise your hand electronically. Baram, I'm going to call on you first.
Well, first off, one thing I want to point out that's kind of similar to the rhombus thing is a heart. A heart doesn't look like an actual heart, looks nothing like the shape heart.
You know, I actually think that that was a great example. Everybody look at this. That picture of a heart looks nothing like your heart. Now, everybody hold up your hand in front of you like this. This is actually the shape of your heart. Okay? Your heart literally is not only the shape, but it's about the same exact size as your hand. Now, if your heart were beating, what would it look like? Boom, 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 boom. Now, does it make that sound?
No. Yes.
It actually does. So when your doctor puts a stethoscope up to your chest, they can actually hear the beating of your heart. So guys, when I'm out kite surfing, I look at my watch all the time because it takes my heart rate, and my normal heart rate is 60 beats per minute. But when I'm kite surfing, I kite surf at about 104 beats per minute. And so my heart is racing because I'm doing activity. So if you have one of those things like a Fitbit or an Apple Watch or something, try to count your heartbeats. But Baram, I'm so glad that you gave us that that analogy. That's a beautiful analogy. Now, Mark, can you please define a rhombus for us?
A rhombus is like two triangles that are put together.
Whoa, I really like that. But can't we say the same thing about a parallelogram, a kite, an isosceles trapezoid, a rectangle, and a square? So, Mark, that's a great observation, but rhombuses are special. And who's Camilla? Can you give us that definition?
Well, when we were talking about diamonds, I have a diamond ring right here.
Oh, and what is the shape of it? Huh? Yeah, can you hold it up, please? But hold it up like directly. There you go. Now turn it so we can see the face. Turn it so we can see the face. Now, guys, does that look anything like a rhombus? No.
No.
So, Camilla, thank you for proving my point. Now, wouldn't it have been better if Mr. Kramer had a diamond to show you?
Yeah.
But guess what? Nobody ever gave me a diamond. Nobody ever asked me to marry them. I had to give one to my wife. So she's the one with the diamond, which is kind of fun. And Gabby, what were you going to ask?
Oh my.
I'm just wondering if does all of the rhombus's sides equal? Because they look sort of equal.
Hey
all of
guys,
the
I want everybody to go like this and go Gabby rocks. Everybody go like this and go Gabby rocks. Gabby, all the sides of a rhombus are equal. All the angles of a rectangle are equal. And if you take a rectangle and a rhombus, come on, and smush them together, you have a
Kite.
you have a square, everybody. A square is a rhombus that is also a rectangle. Now, before we go, I want to share with you my favorite shape. My favorite shape, everybody, is called a kite. And a kite has equal sides and then another set of 2 equal sides. But those sides have to be next to each other. So everybody look at that shape of a kite, and that is a kite, but there's something really special. Look at the diagonals. Look at the red diagonals that I draw right now. Hold on. What happens when I draw the diagonals of a kite? Can anyone tell me what they see? Who has an observation? Caroline?
They're like separated into 4 triangles.
That is true, but that is also true about a parallelogram. It's true about an isosceles trapezoid. So those are really great observations, but there's something really special about the angle created by, and James, go for it. That is true. Guys, look at this. James is right. They are all right angles. Now, do you see another figure on the screen that also has diagonals which form right angles? Claire?
Well, the kite has 2 bigger and longer triangles than the ones up in front.
Oh my God, that is a great observation. Penny, do you know which one also has diagonals which form a right angle? I can't hear you, Penny. Go ahead, say again.
The rhombus also has prime.
Guys,
Also, right.
guys, check it out. Penny is right. A rhombus is the only other shape that is guaranteed to create right angles with their diagonals. Now, but what about a square? Does a square do the same thing?
No.
Yeah.
It has to, because all squares are what? All squares are rhombuses. So you guys made some amazing observations today, and I hope that you look through this packet and that you draw me beautiful polygons, that you name your points. And I want to ask you one question. Who would like to draw pictures just created from coordinate points? So if I gave you a bunch of points and you could create pictures, would that be something you'd like to do?
Yes.
Yes.
Guess what?
Yeah.
That's my homework this week. My homework is going to be to create pictures for you. And now I'm going to ask you to please say goodbye to your beautiful friends and say, guys, and by the way, I want to say one thing. You were so respectful today. Very few people called out. Everybody was raising their hand, and I'm very, very proud of you. Thank you, guys, and I'll see you in 167 hours. I'll see you in 167 hours, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
167 hours.
167.